Hey guys, really sorry I'm not there right now. I woke up with a sick kiddo this morning, so I'm gonna talk you through this. It's a pretty quick one and it's a pretty straightforward one, so I think you'll do great with it. We are talking slope-intercept form today. So first I want you to just give the warm-up a try here. This is what we did yesterday. If you remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is your slope formula. So give that a go. Label your points. What's your x1? What's your y1? What's your x2? What's your y2? I'll give you like 30 seconds. Okay, so here's what I did. Let's see if this is what you did. I called this x1, y1 and x2, y2. So it would be y2 minus a y1 is a negative 2 minus a negative 2 over 4 minus 3. Remember, minus a negative is plus a positive, so negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1, so you have a slope of 1. Okay. Then we're going to talk about the y-intercept. A y-intercept is the point where it hits the y-axis. And if you recall, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. So we're looking for where does our red line hit that axis. That would be right here. So your y-intercept, if you just name that point, that is 0, 3. A y-intercept will always have an x value of 0 because it hasn't moved left or right at all. I am not picky about you writing it as 0, 3. If I ask you for a y-intercept, you may tell me it's at 3. That's fine. But yeah, either one of those ways is great. Okay, so we are going to do today's slope-intercept form. It looks like this, okay, where M is your slope and B is your y-intercept. And then the x and the y, when you put something into slope-intercept form, those will always be x and y. Now, there will come a time where we plug things in for x and y, but when I say put something into slope-intercept form, it should look like this with numbers in the M and the B spot. And if you look like here and here, those are slope-intercept form, okay? So this first question says, what are the slope and y-intercept of each of the graph of each line? So if we were to graph this, we would use a slope of 5. And then this one, it's not a y-intercept of 2, it's actually a y-intercept of negative 2, which I think is fairly intuitive, right? Okay, so tell your neighbor on letter B, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? All right, hopefully you said your slope is a negative 1/2. Excuse me, negative 1/2, and your y-intercept is 2/3. Okay, so this is M, this is B. Now, just something to think about. If I were to give you y equals 4 plus 2x, now this is your y-intercept and this is your slope. So the slope will always be paired or butt up against your x value. So 2x means the 2 is your slope, okay? Okay, almost there. Example 2 here. This says write the equation of the line with the given slope and y-intercept. So now it's just the reverse of what we did here, right? They gave us the equation, we found the slope and y-intercept. Now I'm going to give you the slope and y-intercept, and you're going to write it in y equals mx plus b form. So for this first one, with a slope of 3/2, you're going to say y equals 3/2 times x, and then minus 1. Okay, that would be your slope-intercept form, and you're done. So a -1, I mean, you can write it as plus a -1, but the simplest way to write it is just say -1 at that point. Okay, letter B here. Well, you go ahead and give that a go. All right, so it should be y equals -1x plus 7. Another way you can write that is y equals -x plus 7. So you don't have to put the 1 in there. Either one of these is great. I will take either one, so it's up to you which one you prefer. Okay, last thing. Now you're going to write an equation, still y equals mx plus b, but now you have to find the m and find the b. So I would start these like this. I would say m equals and b equals, and then I would put it into the form. So if you look at this problem, your best bet is to pick 2 points that fall perfectly on the graph. So like I would pick 0, -2, and 1, 0. Okay. First of all, one of those is my y-intercept. My y-intercept is at -2, but then my slope. Okay, now here's where you have to be careful. Your slope is always rise over run, right? So up or down, but always to the right. So we want to start farthest left. So we're going to start at the green point. So my rise would be 1, 2. My run is 1. So 2 over 1, we can just write that as 2. And then we're going to put that into slope-intercept form. Y equals 2x minus 2. Okay, so that will be your equation. All right, letter B. Again, we want a slope and we want a y-intercept. And then we're going to put it into that y equals mx plus b. So if you look here, tell your neighbor what b is. B would be this point. So that's a y-intercept of 4. Okay, tell your neighbor what slope you see. So if you pick another point, you want to start left and work your way right. And it's rise over run. So we're going to go down 1 and then 1, 2 to the right. So down 1 is a -1, and then 2 to the right is a +2. Remember, left to right every time. Okay. Now, what if you had picked this point to start, but then you didn't pick the point until way over here? Watch what happens. This is 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. So down 3 and 6 to the right. Is that the same slope? It actually is, right? If we reduce -3, 6, it would be -1/2. So it's okay if you pick different points than I do, as long as when you find your slope, you always reduce it. Okay. Okay, so here's my slope and y-intercept. So we would go y equals -1/2 times x, that's mx, and then plus my b value, which is 4. Okay. All right, last one. I'm going to let you try this one on your own. Find your m, find your b, and then I'll walk through it with you in just a minute. Okay, let's see how you did. So if we pick our y-intercept, that's this point right here. So your b is 2. This one, every single point is on one of the crossbars. So if you go here, down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2 would be negative 1/2. So y equals negative 1/2 times x plus 2. Okay, now real quick, let's take a zoomed out view of this. Notice, we talked about this yesterday, this first graph is on its way up, and notice your slope was positive. This graph is on its way down when you go left to right, and your slope was negative. And this graph was on its way down, and the slope was negative. So just keep that in mind. That's how that works. Okay, sorry I'm not there. Hopefully we're healthy tomorrow, and I will be, well, I don't see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Have a good day, guys.